You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
A century ago, F. Scott Fitzgerald introduced us to the dazzling world of Jay Gatsby, his opulence, his longing, and the illusion of the American dream. This year, we celebrate 100 years of The Great Gatsby, a novel that has captivated generations with its timeless themes of love, ambition, and excess. In this episode, we sit down with the director and principal cast of Enid's Gaslight Theater, where Gatsby's world is coming to life on the stage. We talked about the magic of bringing this classic to the theater, what makes Gatsby's story still hit home after all these years, and the creative process behind the production. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. So grab a seat, get your favorite drink, because it's curtain time.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Welcome back, everybody, to Oklahoma on Stage. Glad you're here. Glad you're listening. And I'm here to welcome tonight a group from the Gaslight Theater in Enid. They are putting on the performance of The Great Gatsby, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and all of the details. But I want to start off tonight by welcoming the director himself, Chad Swanson. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you very much for having us. Good to see you, Tim.
Good to see you. Glad you guys could be a part of this, and thank you for stepping up and being actually our second interview of the entire
All right,
podcast.
we'll take second place. That's fine.
So I appreciate that. So, Alex, if you would, with your crew there, would you give us an introduction of who you've got with you tonight?
Yeah, so my name is Alex. I play the lead, one of the big characters, Jay Gatsby himself. And sitting with me is my good friend, Kim, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Kim. I play Nick Carraway, the narrator of the show.
And I'm Tiffany, and I play Myrtle Wilson. I'm also the Gaslight Theater's Capital Campaign Chair.
And I'm Charlotte Ringwald. I play Jordan Baker.
Hi, I'm Chad Swanson. This is all my fault. I'm the director.
And I'm Heather Palmer. I am the marketing committee chair for the Gaslight.
Great. Welcome. And welcome all of you guys. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule. I know from what I've heard, you guys are very busy in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And I thank you guys for taking time out to be a part of this.
Of course.
I did get, before we scheduled our podcast and interview and everything, I did get a press release sent to me from Gaslight Theater. So I'd like to share a little bit about that so that our listeners know what's going on.
Oh, Heather's thrilled.
Heather, you wrote this, is that correct?
I've written a lot of press releases in the last couple of weeks.
Well, I'm not going to tell you which one I'm reading. So no, I'm kidding. So I received this, and it starts out, this was very interesting. I did not know this, and so most of our people probably don't either. This is the centennial celebration of The Great Gatsby. So I'll give a little note here that is written on this. On April 10th, 1925, F. Scott Fitzgerald published a tale that would come to be known as the Great American Novel. Fitzgerald himself noted that books are like brothers. I am an only child, Gatsby my imaginary eldest brother. An only child himself, director Chad Swanson feels a similar kinship to Jay Gatsby as a larger-than-life sibling, one requiring great care in telling of his story. Goes on, Swanson talking about his connection with Gatsby. We'll get into that in a little bit himself. Talking about the performance dates for Great Gatsby, they're April 11th, 12th, and 13th, 18th, and 19th at the Gaslight Theater in Enid, Oklahoma. So we'll talk about tickets at the end of this show. And so there's a great deal of connection from what I hear for the Great Gatsby and yourself, Chad. Can you give us a little bit of that connection?
Sure, of course. I think, like so many of us, my first exposure to The Great Gatsby was being forced to read it in high school around, sophomore, junior year. And, as a teenager, I think, it's difficult for a novel like that to really speak to someone that hasn't had a lifetime of experience and ups and downs and going along life's trails. But coming back to it, maybe about 4 years ago or so, and especially with the 2013 film by Baz Luhrmann, just with Gatsby coming back into the cultural zeitgeist and, the proliferation of Gatsby parties and all that, it kind of got me thinking, maybe this would be a tale that I'd like to tell. Because before this, I'd directed War of the Worlds, The Panic Broadcast, another very historical tale. So I got to looking at it and thought, yeah, this is something that speaks to me, something I could work with. And I think that a lot of folks get wrapped up in the glitz, the glamour of the Roaring '20s and all that, and they forget that there's a real, genuine, heartrending story behind The Great Gatsby, and it's one worth reading. It's one worth seeing on stage. And our particular version is adapted by Simon Levy, who has the endorsement of the Fitzgerald estate. And it's just a beautiful script. He's managed to draw upon the key, emotions and key moments, and especially the beautiful prose of Fitzgerald's work. So we've got really good material to work with, and I've managed to get a great cast, and I think we're putting together a great show.
Sounds amazing. Now, are you guys staying within the Roaring '20s motif, or are you in the adaptation? Are you taking it in a different direction?
I'd say we're keeping it pretty faithful to the time, like as far as fashion, as far as music, as far as the story goes. We're not really doing anything off the beaten path. I think the people, when they come see it, they'll be pretty impressed and astonished by how modern and contemporary it feels, even just at face value. Like the prose is definitely ahead of its time. Like I'd say Fitzgerald was writing with a mind that was decades ahead of where he was.
So that definitely helps in creating modern plays and things like that to give that help to give that imagery and things like that.
Oh,
I know
certainly.
Fitzgerald is a very visual writer. A lot of what he writes lends
Absolutely.
to that visual
Yeah.
aesthetic. So that's great. What would you say, Chad, was the biggest challenge in balancing that grandeur of the Roaring '20s with the intimate character moments that you highlighted in the press release?
Oh, well, for that, I think our set was the biggest challenge for me because initially, being a Gatsby neophyte, I'd read the novel, but it'd been a while. I thought, well, I've got to make my set big, 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 grand, grand, grand. Got to make it huge. But as I got to reading the script and also reading Simon Levy's notes at the beginning, he made it clear that the novel and the play, it's a recollection, it's a memory, it's a dream. It's Nick Carraway's remembrance of his time in Long Island and with Gatsby and all these high society folks, and that you don't have to show the grandeur, that it can be dreamlike, it can be nebulous, and that your actors can weave from one spot to another. And especially when you look at the novel's only 180 pages long. It flies, it goes quickly. So, so too does the script, so too does the stage play. I mean, we're there for a good time, not a long time. And so, I mean, it moves, it cooks. And that really got me thinking, yeah, we can actually, I wouldn't say that the set is minimalistic. There's plenty of bells and whistles going on, believe you me. But yeah, I didn't find really a need to build these huge, towering facades necessarily. Like, we've taken some really cool liberties and some cool creative directions, and I think people will be impressed by what they see.
Great. Now, you mentioned when you and I spoke previously that you had some dance numbers and things like that going on with the extended cast that you have.
Yes, sir.
How did you go about selecting those elements to bring that era to life?
So the top of the show, like in the script, it mentions that the characters are, doing the Charleston, and it's meant to grow and grow in fervor, and it's the Roaring '20s. So I think that Levy uses that as a device to set us in a certain mindset, a certain time frame. And for me, I found just a classic, recording of the Charleston, the one we all know. Da, 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 yeah, da, 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 da. So, no surprises there. I'd reached out to Summer Brandley, whom I'd worked with in a previous show. She was game to choreograph that number. And she actually made the trip from Oklahoma City about every week or so because she since moved away from Enid, was very generous with her time. We certainly appreciate her, and worked up that number with our ensemble. And we have a really good ensemble of dancers and actors, got a couple of ringers who are, dance teachers themselves. So, maybe it's a little bit of a cheat code there, but I'm not, too ashamed to do it. And it's turning out really nice. For Act Two also starts with a dance number. And again, Levy really left it up to the director's discretion to what song and what vibe they wanted to go with. And I'm going to let you know a little secret. I'm not slavish to the time period when it comes to 20s music and the production. I'm not going full Baz Luhrmann and including hip hop, which I don't mind it, but you will hear maybe a few songs from the 30s. And the top of Act Two does involve the song "Sing, Sing, Sing," yada da 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 da. So it's gonna, I think, give people the kind of feeling they need to put them in that Gatsby party, because I think some folks will think of the 20s and the music they recall is actually from the 30s, the big band stuff. 20s music's real plinky, lots of ukulele. I do like it, but I wanted some big bombastic grandeur for when we're at Gatsby's and having a party.
That's great. That's great. As a director, what do you hope the audiences will take away from this production in 2025, 100 years after the publication?
Oh, goodness. For me, I hope the audiences walk away with a newfound appreciation for the work itself, but also for, thinking of a number like 100, it's this big, round, 3-digit number, is really not that long ago, especially in American culture, and that we're all still going through a lot of the same struggles that the people in The Great Gatsby did. Like, you have, a tale of classism to an extent. I don't think it's so much the upper class is the mustache twirling villain and the little guy is the hero. It's not as simple as all that. You find in The Great Gatsby that folks who are living high on the hog tend to be a little bit careless. Like, they live their lives and they have their struggles, and their struggles are legitimate. But at times their actions and also their inactions cause problems for the people below them. So I think ultimately, I hope that people walk away with a sense that one should be mindful of what they do and what they don't do. And that nostalgia can be a bit of an opiate. Like, it can be a bit of a drug, and you have to be careful about keeping your head too stuck in the past, and you have to live in the present time.
That's good. Living in the moment.
Yes, sir.
So here's my first curveball for you, Chad. If F. Scott Fitzgerald could attend opening night, what do you think he'd say about your rendition of his imaginary eldest brother?
Okay. I think the first thing he would say is, what is this giant screen with these moving pictures? Where's this music coming from with no visible orchestra? But in all seriousness, I would hope that he would take a look at our rendition and that he would remark that while we have captured all of the bombast and all of the, big parties, that we did pay adequate attention to the small character moments, and that we made them honest, and that we made the relationship between Gatsby and Daisy a believable one, and the relationship between Myrtle and Tom a believable one, and Nick's relationship with Jordan, which, I personally, that's my favorite relationship in the show, is between Nick and Jordan. And I think sometimes it gets a little washed over in the 70s version of the film, even the 2013 version. I think that Fitzgerald would be pleased with the love and care that we gave to the characters who aren't Gatsby, that create this world and build this world. That would be my hope, at least.
All right, we're going to shift gears just a little bit. We're going to transition over to the cast for a few
minutes. Grill some of these other guys. You've been going after me this whole time.
Hey, I told you when I first set this up, it was supposed to be just you and me, and then so I had to come up with some other questions. So
throw some fire these other guys' way. I don't want to hear me talk for an hour.
Okay, Alex, we're going to start with you, Mr. Gatsby.
Sure.
What was it like stepping into the world of Gatsby and embodying this iconic character?
It was a lot of fun. That was, the big pull. He's a very showman type character, and it's a lot of sleight of hand and trickery, which it makes you think of Willy Wonka or The Wizard of Oz. A lot of these classic Americana characters. There's a little bit of just a bit of a huckster to him, which is a very classic American thing. So there's joy there, and as stated in the show, he's an optimist. So it's not a dark world to enter. It was actually a really positive one, and one that's been kind of fun to craft and build and try and make into something audiences will find compelling too.
So let me ask you, Alex, just off the top of your head, just the first thing that comes to your mind, how would you classify Gatsby?
Extraordinary, special, more motivated, more driven, more accomplished than like a normal person. There's something a bit grander about his ambitions and his abilities. Of course, it's all for love, which is it's charming in its own way.
Fair enough. All right. So we'll switch over to Kim. Kim, playing Nick Carraway, the one, probably some might say the central character of the story.
Absolutely.
It's coming from his point of view. How did you prepare for that role? Did you dive into the book, the history of the 20s, or did you use other resources to connect to that character? How did you, shall we say, become Nick Carraway?
Really, whenever I first read the script, it's been a while since I've actually read the book, actually since high school itself. But when I read the script, like 3 or 4 hours before auditions, before I was actually deciding to whether or not to audition, I really connected with Nick because he's kind of he really comes across as the outsider coming into the story. And so being kind of a natural introvert myself, I like being kind of the wallflower and kind of observing everything going around me. And so it was nice to be able to actually embody Nick in a way where he is the vehicle for the audience to actually examine Gatsby, examine Tom and Daisy and Jordan and all the craziness that's going on through the play itself. So really, that's how I kind of envision and try and make it as honest of a portrayal from someone that would look on the outside at everything that's going on.
Yeah, I like what you said there about being honest, and that's for me as both an actor and a director, that's one of the things that I look for above all else is authenticity and being real. I just got through being an assistant director on Julius Caesar, and
Ooh.
I am no Shakespearean actor at all, and having much like you said there, Kim, I hadn't read the story since I was in high school. And believe me, I'm a little further along in years than you guys are. So yeah, it was totally a new experience for me. At the same time, it was a full adaptation. So it was taking the show completely out of Shakespearean England and putting it into the 1970s Vietnam era
Oh.
political arrest. It was an amazing show. The technical director who did the adaptation had a great vision for it. I got the lucky opportunity to help take his vision and put it on stage. It was great, and one of the things I went to with the cast is exactly kind of what you said there was that I'm looking for people that aren't doing just words on a page. And for Shakespeare, William Shakespeare never introduces his characters. There is no this is so and so. He's from here. He's a stately individual. He's 45 years of age, and he doesn't give any of that. And so every actor that plays a Shakespearean role is free to interpret that character however they want, or shall I say, however the director wants them to. But yeah, and so I love it when people are able to put some thought into, much like you were talking about there, Kim, thought into it, reaching into it, doing some character examination to bring that person to life, just like you said. So I applaud that. Thank you for saying all of that. But I do have to say, you say you're an introvert. Is that why you're not on camera?
One of the reasons.
Now, you spoke about Julius Caesar. Alex actually directed Caesar at Gaslight a few seasons back, and did a bit of a modern Politico take on it. Yeah, it was a wonderful production.
It's a great show, very deep. There's so many layers involved with it. It's definitely not your typical William Shakespeare. So I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, not being a Shakespearean actor myself, kind of got to stretch my limits as well. And I love to do that. So.
Very cool.
Okay, so let's go over to Charlotte and ask, are there any standout scenes or moments in the show that feel particularly powerful or meaningful to you?
Yes. Okay. So there's
I was so glad she didn't say no.
No, I did not. Yeah, actually, I have this very long, like 2-page long monologue where, Jordan is a childhood friend of Daisy's, and so she's kind of revealing the story about Daisy and Gatsby, kind of how they met and kind of what all went down like when they were younger, like 5 years ago. And so she's revealing this all to Nick and then doing the big ask of like, hey, can they come in over to your place and meet? This is the whole point of the story. And so that moment's just like really pivotal for me as playing Jordan. And so it's really fun to be able to kind of narrate that scene, and it's kind of happening behind me a little bit of the tale, and then kind of coming to that big ask. And so I really love that moment, and always stress out a little bit about it, just making sure I'm like dead letter perfect, so everyone's hitting their cues right, and I'm not messing up the whole thing.
Okay, so that's really good. I like that answer. I'm really very glad that you didn't say no. That would have been a really short conversation. So,
No.
I would have been the most concerned out of all of us.
Yeah, if your actors don't feel any, memorable moments out of the show, there's a problem. So
Yeah, she's also my wife, so I'd really hope the answer would be yes.
Yeah, if she didn't like what you're doing, that's a whole different podcast. So,
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so Tiffany, let's get over to you. First question I'm going to ask you is as a cast member. Then we'll shift gears after that. If you could attend one of Gatsby's parties, what part of the experience would you most look forward to or most dread?
Myrtle would look forward to the booze, and hopefully Tom was there. That's just that simple. She's just she's simple in those sorts of things. She cares about a couple things, and that's trying to make her way up the ladder, kind of in a way that Gatsby does, just from a different starting point. And she would want Tom, and she'd want the booze, and probably mingle.
Okay, so then the question would become, how different is that from yourself?
Not at all.
Hilarious. While I am ambitious and I reach for the stars with stuff, I don't, I like to think I don't do it at other people's, demise. So, I'm pretty careful with how I treat people and what I do to get to where I want to go.
She'd be trying to get donations for the Capitol campaign if she was in a Gatsby party. Yeah, she's always be closing. She's always working the room.
This is true.
Well, that being said, it's a great transition.
I knew it.
Great transition into the Capitol campaign.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about that, Tiffany, the Capitol campaign, and what all does that entail, especially being wrapped around Great Gatsby?
Yeah, so this is a project that started back in 2019. A push to be able to raise at that time $1 million to renovate the theater top to bottom, front to back. And we of course things got pushed aside come March of 2020 with COVID. So it turned into a larger and much longer project than what it originally was going to be. But luckily, thus far we've raised $500,000. We've already got some renovations done. Our auditorium is completely newly renovated. our green room, and then we have a little black box theater so far that is done. And interestingly enough, we are going for a kind of modern art deco because our building was actually built and opened in February of 1921. Shortly thereafter, it had a fire. The auditorium completely burnt down. It reopened again in 1923 and 24. And so it's just there is that idea of thinking about the time that Gatsby came out. When it was published, there were people that were attending our theater and sitting in not the same seats, but sitting in the same building, and we're bringing back the Art Deco feel and the that era. So there is a nice little tie-in with Gatsby with it.
So some nostalgia along with it. That's really cool. That's
Yes.
very, very cool. Okay, Heather, do you want to answer any questions, or are you just going to be a
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
What do you got for me?
Okay, so talking about the Great Gatsby, and it talked a little bit about in the press release, talking about the centennial celebration. Can you tell me a little bit about how the marketing went in for that?
Well, Chad and I have been talking about the marketing for this show for 6 months at least.
At least.
At least. We've been trying to, I mean, I don't know if you've seen our Facebook page, but we've been posting photos that we took with Dawn Muncie. She's a local photographer. She does all of our theater photography. She's amazing. And she's taken some beautiful photographs. So we've started trickling those out there. We've been trying to focus on like a two-sided approach to the marketing. So we've been having the fun celebratory roaring 20s, everybody's having a party. And then we're also trying to make sure we bring in those tender moments, the fact that it is a little bit of a tragic love story, that we have those things going on. It's not just a 1920s themed party. It's actually great American literature. So we've been trying to play it from both angles there when we do marketing. I'm hoping that's coming across. We've been looking at going back to the capital campaign and fundraising. We've been looking at doing some fundraising activities around the show. I actually have some antiques from the 1920s. They're probably just exactly as old as this show that we are looking at auctioning off in a silent auction. So you can actually take home a piece of nostalgia and help us raise a little bit of money to, I think our next project is the lobby. The lobby. Help us update our lobby so that it matches with our newly redone auditorium. What else? What else have we been doing? We've been doing a lot. We've just been.
I know you guys have been busy. I know that.
We've been busy. We are the most active community theater in this state. We do more shows than anybody else. So we are busy beavers.
And I'd like to give Heather her flowers too. She's gone above and beyond to really make the marketing for this show happen. Like, she's been in touch with me since day zero and has had just brilliant ideas. And she's been super easy to work with. It's been a real privilege. Thank you, Heather.
Oh, thank you.
See, look, actors getting along. Who'd have thought of it?
Right. Right.
Do not much acting.
And I will tell you
that's why.
That all the marketing photos that have been coming out on Facebook have been top notch. They look great. I love the introductions to the characters and the cast members and things like that. So kudos for that. They do look great.
Thank you.
And again, like I said, when I come up there to see the show, we will take some photos with the cast so that we can promote them on our group page and everything.
Please do.
Well.
Yeah.
So,
and we will reciprocate. We love a scratch your back, I'll scratch yours. We love those.
Oh yeah.
well, that's
We've been trading marketing with some of the other community theaters nearby. So Onstage Woodward, we've been trading marketing with them. We've been trading marketing with Tonka, and we've been trading marketing with Town and Gown. So we love giving back to each other because we're all in this together.
That's right.
I mean, there's something about that word community in community theater that goes beyond just the fact that we're not on the big stage. We are a community and we're a family. We're all in this together. And I've talked to so many directors that are like, man, I just wish that people really understood what community theater really meant, and that they would work together and things like that. But then you run into those others that are like, hey, half of our set we got from this other theater because they were, willing to see a need in this and they helped us out. I've been a
sure.
part of productions where, as a matter of fact, we were part of a production back when my wife was teaching and she was working alongside the theater instructor. They were doing music theater. We were able to borrow the plant for Little Shop of Horrors. We were able to borrow Audrey, both versions, the small one and the large one, from the Pollard, and that was a great thing too. So.
Oh man, yeah, we did a Little Shop in 2020, right in the heat of COVID. Tiffany was the AD. I was actually the voice of Audrey too, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're still on Heather and we're still talking about marketing a little bit, a couple of other questions I'd like to ask.
Sure.
What is, for Gaslight Theater, what is the theater's mission and how does it resonate with the community?
Oh goodness, the mission statement. I have not pulled that one out in a hot minute.
I knew I'd catch you on something.
I know, right? Well, we're here to make sure that everybody has a place to practice their art, that the community has a place to. Oh, here we go.
We got a
Oh, thank goodness for technology.
All right. So our mission statement is twofold: to provide a wide spectrum of high quality theatrical entertainment to a broad audience in Enid and the surrounding communities, and to provide a setting for non-professional actors, directors, designers, and technicians to learn and practice their art. We also have core values. Our core values are professionalism, community, creativity, safety, and collaboration. So we really want to put the community in community theater. We have people all the time coming in that have never done theater before, or they haven't done theater since high school.
In this show.
Yeah, especially. We want new people. We want people to come in and try this for the first time. And we want to be that place where it's safe to try, where you don't have to feel like you have to be the best or you already have to have done a show in order to get that entry. So that's what we've been trying to market ourselves as. I mean, it's always a struggle to get new folks in the door of a community theater. So, you know, that's a never ending striving and reaching, but that's what we want to be. Is we have spots for, we have kids drama camp in the summer so that kindergartners can come in and put on their own show all the way up to fifth graders. We have a teen program and the teens meet twice a month. They do a couple of shows during the year. We're really trying to be a place where these kids can actually come and learn something while they're having fun. And you know, theater is not a thing that is just applicable to people that want to do theater as a living. I mean, I went to school for theater, but that is absolutely not what I do for a living. I do marketing for a living. But you learn so much when you do theater. You don't just learn things like empathy, but you learn how to organize things and how to work together with people. It's just like playing team sports. You're just doing a different activity to do it. So that's what we want to be for people is, you know, just theater is my sport.
Here.
You're here.
I like that.
I like to run on sentence also.
Hey, you're fine. You're fine. I like, you know, what you said as far as, you know, you went to school for theater, but that's not what you do. It always goes back to, you know, when somebody asks you, you have a degree in sociology, what are you going to do with that? You know, it's theater's kind of the same way. If you're not a teacher in theater, what are you going to do with that degree?
Marketing.
You know,
I got 3 people at the table that all went to school for theater and are not currently professionally acting, but have parlayed it into something else. Like Charlotte, like what do you do with your theater degree?
Yeah, so I have a Bachelor of Fine Art in Theater Performance, and I run Leonardo's Children's Museum. So, you know, you kind of find all different types.
Yeah, Alex, what do you do with your theater background?
I didn't get a degree in theater.
You acted in like Shakespeare professionally.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And he now works at Leonardo's Children's Museum as well, do you not?
Yes, I'm a big kid, so I went to work with a kid.
Now, I will go with the fact that you got a degree in theater, that you are using that in a children's theater, at a children's museum. Because I think it definitely takes, you're putting on a performance every day when you go to work. You have to know how to produce that performance. You have to know all of those aspects of theater because kids, if you just go in to work every day at a museum, the kids are going to check out as soon as they walk in the door. So I think, yes, you are definitely using that. on the flip side, I didn't finish my degree in theater. I started out as a theater education major, transitioned into television broadcasting, transitioned into this, and then transitioned into that. I think I changed my major about 8 times. And
Nice.
it took me 18 years to get a bachelor's degree. And I work in HR. So
Hey,
There's
now
a
you know
lot
why.
that you can take from theater and put in HR.
That's
Oh,
right.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Now you know why I'm doing this podcast.
Right.
So, but no, seriously, one of the things I've done a lot of different things. Kind of said it in a couple of places, my promos and things like that. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I fit that traditional jack of all trades, master of none. But the one
Same.
thing that's always been constant in my life has been theater.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Since
Absolutely.
I was a little
I
kid
know.
up until now. So I love what you guys are doing. I just wish you guys were closer to me.
Yeah. It's
I
hard sometimes to convince people to make the drive up here, but I think once they do, they keep coming back.
Yes.
It's worth it. 412 is not that long a drive. You'll be
It's
all
really
right.
not.
well, I work in Oklahoma City, and so that's not that big a deal. But the fact that I live in Shawnee,
Ooh.
that's an extra 45 minutes outside of that. So, yeah, that is a little bit far to drive every day for rehearsal. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
but yes, I really would wish you guys were closer and things like that, because everything that I'm hearing, everything that I've seen so far, definitely is a draw to someone wwho loves the theater and loves to act. So,
And we have
Um,
had a lot of people come up and audition from Oklahoma City, from Stillwater,
Oh yeah.
from Ponca City.
Mhm.
And our directors are really learning how to work around that bit of driving that some people are gonna need to do. Like we've learned some ways to stack up our rehearsals so that people aren't having to make the drive every single night.
Right.
Maybe a few less nights. So we've had people make it work. So if anybody's like out there listening and thinking, oh, I might want to try that, like we have auditions coming up at the 1st of May
Mhm.
for our summer musical, and our director is actually going to be driving in from Stillwater every single day for rehearsal.
Yep.
So we make things work. Like we're here to like make it available to anybody who wants to try.
100%.
I think that's amazing. And I mean, truly, that it goes back to if it's something that means something to you, if it's something you're passionate about, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
And I think it's for all of us. And, because all of us, like you said, we all have full-time jobs. Community theater, for the most part, we don't get paid for. We do it because it's something we love. It's a passion for us. Yeah, there are some of those theaters out there that they do give stipends for, certain things. I haven't found one yet. But,
If you find one, you let me know.
exactly.
look up.
Exactly. It's always good when you're signing that, audition contract and everything, and it talks about the roles, and then there's a little statement at the bottom that says a small stipend may be available. And I'm like, yay, but I have never seen it. So
That's new on me, boss. All I get my act is just a crisp high five.
right? Yeah. Thanks, and an attaboy. There you go.
Yeah.
And a free pen.
You get pins?
It's coming. It's on the way.
Okay, I'm owed.
Do a sticker.
I'll take that.
Okay, so we're going to shift into some of our curveball questions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out the question, and someone can volunteer to give the answer to it.
Nice.
Okay? So let's start with this one. If the Great Gatsby characters existed today, what kind of social media accounts do you think they'd have, and what would their posts look like?
Alex, go.
Gatsby would have a TikTok because he would be hip with what was new, and he would probably have invested money in a good camera, in a good microphone, and probably at least pay an editor. So he would be putting out really high quality stuff. However, it would all be memes and like brain rot for 10-year-olds.
Nice.
Oh, do I need to answer now? This show's PG-13, right?
Yes.
I think Myrtle would have an OnlyFans.
I thought it. I wasn't gonna say it.
Wow. Okay. Parents, if you're listening with your children, it's time to change the channel. Okay. Next question. Who in the cast would have thrived the most during the Roaring 20s, and why?
No, actually, I think the real answer is a guy who's not here. I think Tim, yeah, who plays Tom. Yeah, Tim Johnson is just kind of like a classic Marlboro man just transported into 2025. So yeah, I think you could probably drop him in 1925 and not a lot would need to change for him. Like he works Harvest, he works at P&K, which is a John Deere licensee. Yeah, I think Tim Johnson would probably prefer living in 1925 if he could. So
Yeah.
shout out to Tim. Wish you were here, bud.
Well, hopefully we'll get to ask him a few questions when I come up there. So,
Oh, please do. He'll hate
okay.
it.
The Gaslight Theater, we're throwing a Gatsby style party for the community. What would it look like?
I say Tiffany and Heather, just go ahead and advertise one.
Why not?
We've done one,
Make
haven't we?
Make it an
Yeah,
additional
for our
show and just,
Yeah, we actually kind of already did one for it was the 50th basically birthday of Gaslight being a theater troupe, and we threw kind of a party in sort of that way. So we've done it. We did go less roaring 20s, but mixed in with like steampunk sort of looking. So, it was very theater people. It was a lot of fun, and that was almost 10 years ago.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We're gonna
Makes
put on our
me feel
60th.
old.
Yeah, we're coming up on our 60th birthday now, so next year.
That's
Wow.
next year already. Oh my goodness.
wow.
Oh yes, we gotta market that now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Come to our 60th birthday party, whatever it is.
Whatever. I think we just figured out what it is.
Yeah. The Gatsby party.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about a party coming up, let's throw this out there. Imagine your theater is hosting an event where the audience dresses as characters from past productions. What costume would you choose for yourself and why?
Oh my.
We'll go around the table and everybody give an answer to this one.
Do I
Oh,
have to pick one that I've been myself? Because if so, I know exactly what I'm gonna be.
well, go ahead.
Sure.
I'm gonna be Peter Quince from A Midsummer Night's Dream, because all I had to wear was basically pajama pants and a tank top.
Okay. So Alex has just rejoined us. Tim, could you repeat your query?
Absolutely. Imagine Gaslight Theater is hosting an event where the audience dresses as characters from past productions. What costume would you choose for yourself and why?
That's a tough one. I'd probably go as we did a show called One Man, Two Governors a couple years ago. And it was a very silly farce. And I played an old man named Alfie. And, when it comes to theater, the thing I like the most is silly costumes, silly makeup, silly faces, voices. So I was a weird little old man. I'd love to do that again.
And I made your
Pacemaker.
your external pacemaker. It was great.
I think for me, whenever we did Green Day's American Idiot for our summer musical a few years back, I played St. Jimmy. So that was the role that Billy Joe Armstrong, lead singer of Green Day, played on Broadway. So I got to wear this nice black trench, like spike my hair up, the real dark, eyeliner and all that, and just belt out some Green Day. Like it was incredible. It's definitely one of my favorite roles I played. So had to bring that back.
Okay. And what about you?
I think that I would probably bring back I played the narrator in Into the Woods. Oh, another narrator character. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I was
on that.
I'm hearing cast typing there. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think that I would probably pull out my smoking jacket and a nice pipe cigar and just be another narrator for it and just sit back and watch all the craziness happen. Oh, wow, that's again exactly what I do.
What can I say? Kim likes to watch.
Okay, Tiffany, how about you?
Oh man, so I've been doing theater less than 10 years, so I don't have a ton to pull from. Probably my favorite was I was Queen Gertrude in Hamlet and in Roz and Gil.
Yeah,
Mr. Cranston Guildenstern are dead. And that costume is probably one of my favorites. Just bright red, big, royal, got the crown. That probably would be my number one when I have to pull back out again.
I guess that leaves Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I've been thinking really hard about it, and it wouldn't be one that I did, but it showed that I did. I'd want to dress as Audrey too, the plant, just in the way, just a huge giant costume, nowhere to sit. I'll end up like probably just in the backyard somewhere, and then Chad would just follow behind me, just saying like stuff, because he was the voice of Audrey too. So that would be kind of like just this really obnoxious shtick that we would do all night long.
A great couple's costume.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Well, I tell you, I'd probably come to the show too, and I'd probably go with probably the favorite role that I've done in my career, and I actually got to play Bob Ewell in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Hey,
That
was
was
Mayella.
it was all great to be a really ugly bad guy. I just I
That was
got to
actually the first play that I did ever, and at Gaslight, and I played Mayella.
okay. All right. My wife was on stage. She played Miss Maudie, so they had her typing the whole time, and she hated it too because I spent like 6 weeks just dirty, filthy, nasty. My beard was like growing all down my neck, and every night I got to rub Crisco in my hair, and it was gross. Okay, so let me see if I can find one real zinger to end with, and I don't know that I have a real good one. Oh, here's a good one. And this one, because this will hit all of you guys. It has nothing to do with Gatsby. Actually, I've got two, and I'll end with one, but this one is funny. If your theater's building could talk, what secrets or stories would it share about this show?
About this show? Man.
It'd probably say, Alex, what are you goofing off with downstairs in the dressing rooms every night? Get upstairs. What are you doing down there?
Well,
That's what your stage manager says.
I'm intrigued. Alex, what are you goofing off with downstairs?
Running my lines, pacing back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right.
The floor would probably say ouch for as many times as I have to throw myself upon it and roll everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think probably the building would say, could you please run those bubble jets a little less because it's making the platforms really slick, and you should probably do something about that.
So a lot of bubbles then.
In one particular scene.
Okay. All right.
I just want to know what the ghosts would say. We're haunted.
Yeah.
Are we?
We are.
I think just about every community theater has a haunting story. So,
Yes.
and especially the theaters that have been here the longest. So, yeah. Okay, final question, and we can wrap things up tonight. What's the quirkiest backstage tradition or superstition that you guys have at your theater?
I wouldn't say that there's any one particular one, but if I had to pick something that I've noticed in several of our Shakespeare shows, is very often right before we get ready to go out, and this is when we were doing it in the park, everybody would put their hands in and they'd say, blood makes the grass grow, kill, kill, kill. Now, I don't know the origins of this, and I don't care to know, but I do like it.
I believe that's an old military chant that they would talk about a lot about, and I believe, I don't know if it has its birth or not in the Vietnam War, but they chanted it a lot.
Well, there you go. We have a lot of, in this area, a lot of vets, so I can easily see one of them saying, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do.
Well, that's how we got Yucca.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of fun with you guys. Before we go, tell us a little bit about, again, we talked a little bit about the dates. If we could go over those dates again, talk about the times, and how people can get tickets.
Absolutely. I can tell you that this is F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, adapted for stage by Simon Levy, directed by yours truly, Chad Swanson. Show dates are April 11th through the 13th, as well as the following weekend on the 18th and 19th. Show times are at 7:30 p.m., aside from the Sunday performance on the 13th, which will be 2 p.m. And let's see, tickets, adults are $18 in advance, $20 at the door. Active military, $15 in advance, $17 at the door. Students, $8 in advance, $10 at the door. Anything I missed? Marketing or capital campaign?
How to buy tickets.
How to buy tickets? Well, by God, you can go to gaslighttheater.org and follow the links for The Great Gatsby, and you can pick out your seats, as many as you need, and you can pay for them online, or you can also call our box office at, let's see if the phone number's on the website.
It is 580-234-2307.
Look at that, what do you need me for?
See, you guys leave it up to the marketing department. They've got a whole spiel ready for it. So.
Yeah, of course.
They don't let me talk very much, and that's probably a good thing.
So, guys, thank you again. I'm looking forward to seeing the show. You guys sound like you're an amazing cast. Chad, you sound like you've put together a great production. I look forward to seeing it. And until then, guys, break a leg. I wish you guys all the best of luck.
Yay, thank you, Tim.
Thanks for being on the show, guys. Have a wonderful week.
All right, take care.
So there you have our interview with the director and principal cast of The Great Gatsby, put on by the Gaslight Theater and Enid. Since the recording of this interview, I did have the opportunity to go and see the show. It was amazing. I have to say it was top notch. They hit it out of the park. Great presentation, great set, great costumes, just a great overall putting forth of the story of The Great Gatsby. They did a great job. Congratulations, Gaslight Theater. I look forward to many productions that you guys have down the road. As for everybody else listening to the show, thank you for being a part of this. You can always find us on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to give us a like, a subscription, give us a review so that we can share this with other people and other people can find it and enjoy the podcast as well. Until then, look forward to the next episode, and thank you for supporting the arts.
Oklahoma on stage, the spotlight.